Hi, and in Steve's kitchen today, we're making marshmallows, not those horrible cardboard sweet things you buy in the supermarkets, but beautiful, melt in the mouth, homemade marshmallows. Now, if you haven't made these at home, they are so simple to make. And because I'm making my own, I'm going to make passion fruit marshmallows because I can. Let me show you how. Now, just for starters, I've got a little bit of vegetable oil in a pot here. Now, you could use one of those little spray cans of vegetable oil if you prefer. And in this little shaker, I'm putting equal amounts of corn flour and confectionery sugar or powdered sugar. So that's a blend of the two. And we're just using this for dusting. You don't have to have it in a shaker. If you like, you can just mix it in a bowl. Now, I've got an 8-inch or 20 centimeter square baking tray here, and I'm just going to line the inside with a little bit of vegetable oil. Then I've cut a square of baking paper and I'm just going to pop that in the bottom. And then I'm going to sprinkle the inside with my cornstarch and icing sugar. And remember to get it up the sides as well. Make sure you oiled up the sides. And be pretty liberal with this dusting because this is going to stop our marshmallow from sticking. Now let's get on and make the marshmallow. Now you're really going to want a stand mixer and whisk attachment to do this. I've got half a cup of cold water. Just going to pop that into the bowl. And I'm going to sprinkle on top of that 20 grams, that's 3/4 ounce of unflavoured gelatin. And then we just want to leave this on the side for 10 minutes to let the water absorb that gelatin. Now just lightly oil the inside of a measuring cup. And then we're just going to measure out 1 cup of glucose, which I've warmed slightly in the microwave just to make it easier to pour. And the reason I greased the inside of that cup is just because it makes it so much easier to pour out into the pan. In with the glucose, we're going to add half a cup of water and 1.5 cups of granulated sugar. And before we pop that on the stove, 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Now we'll take this over to the stove and start to bring this up to heat on a medium flame. Now it's going to take some time and you really do need a candy thermometer to perfect this. I'm going to bring this up to a temperature of 240 degrees Fahrenheit, that's 115 Celsius. And I'm not going to stir it, I'm just going to leave it there and let it bubble. As it starts to boil, I may adjust the heat down just a little bit. And this process can take a good 10 or 15 minutes. Now I've just let that continue on a rolling simmer and you can see now it's coming up to the soft ball on the thermometer there. And at this point we're just going to turn the heat off. Now back over on our stand mixer, the gelatin has set. So we just want to drop the whisk in and turn it at a very slow speed to break the gelatin up. And now what we need to do is take that molten sugar and just pour it slowly into the mixer. And down the side, try not to hit the whisk, because as it hits the side, it will solidify. And for the first few minutes, we'll keep it at this slow speed because I don't want the cold liquid to splatter against the side of the bowl because it tends to set, and we can gradually increase the speed. Now after about 3 minutes, that starts to get a little bit of froth and bubbles into it. I'm going to speed this up and we're going to start to whisk this until it becomes light and fluffy. Now for the last 5 minutes, I'm going to turn this up to full speed and you can feel on the side of the bowl that it's still quite warm and we want that to cool down a little bit. Now after 10 minutes, you can feel the side of the bowl started to cool down, so I'm turning that right down low again. And I'm going to add a teaspoon of vanilla extract into that now. And my passion fruit pulp. Now I've got 100 grams, that's 3.5 ounces. We're just going to gently pour that in. Seeds and all, by the way. Do not be tempted to take the seeds out. And then I'm going to increase the speed a little bit and just mix that for about a minute, minute and a half. Okay, we turn that off and we do want to work fairly quickly now. Just knock any of the marshmallow off into the bowl. And then I'm using a spatula, a silicone spatula, which I've oiled slightly. I'm just going to pull that marshmallow out into that prepared tray. And then working quickly, we just want to spread this marshmallow over the surface. And then finally, I'm taking another oiled spatula and I'm just going to scrape across the top of this marshmallow to get it as flat as possible. And then we want to take a liberal dusting of our cornstarch and powdered sugar, sprinkle that over the top. And then we want to leave this to set on the side. And it'll be a minimum of 4 to 8 hours before this is ready to handle. Now my marshmallow is set lovely. I left it overnight and you can just pull the marshmallow away from the side of the tin. Should come away quite easily. And then I'm just going to turn it out onto a cutting surface. And there you go. We can now just take off the baking paper. And I want to dust this again with our corn flour and sugar mixture. And then I like to take a knife with a light coating of oil on it, and we can start to cut these marshmallows up. You just drag the knife through like that. And you can see there how light and fluffy and delicious looking that marshmallow is. And once you've cut your strips, of course, we're then just going to cut it to cubes, any size that you particularly like. Then I have a bowl of our flour and sugar mixture here, and I'm just going to drop those cubes of marshmallow in there and just give them a light coating. And there you have our beautiful marshmallow, soft, fluffy and delicious. And you can take a group of them like that, just give them a little rolling through, shake off the excess dust. I mean, these are absolutely delicious looking. I've got the little seeds in there as well. I know, I love the little crunch of the passion fruit seeds. Now I've dusted over my passion fruit marshmallow and they look delicious, so let's try one. Here goes, and if you haven't had homemade marshmallow before, you are really missing out. Oh, there's an essence of passion fruit in there. It's absolutely fantastic. You get one of those little seeds as well. They are great. Please give this a try and share the love. Give the thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Now, I chose to do passion fruit marshmallows. You could pretty much choose to do any flavor you want. Be creative. Simple, plain marshmallows are great too. I'll leave a link to a couple of videos up here. I love to hear your comments. Be good, and I'll see you next time. Take care.